What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be taking a look at Superman uses the Phantom Zone on Godzilla. But is it enough? Now, this is an interesting question because of the fact that this is actually something that has happened in the comics. We have seen Superman actually use the Phantom Zone on Godzilla. So let's take a look at what happened. Let me know your thoughts about if this would work, and if it would take Godzilla away for good, or would Godzilla just come back or bust right out of the Phantom Zone? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And with that said, let's go ahead and get started. Now, for those who don't know, the Phantom Zone is a very powerful ability that Superman has. It's also known as the Phantom Zone, Phantom Field, or even the Zone. This ability allows Superman to banish his enemies into another dimension, which is known as the Phantom Zone. In the Phantom Zone, there are no physical laws as we understand them. Time passes differently there. Matter can pass through other matter, and there are some beings that exist in the Phantom Zone that do not like it when outsiders come in. The main one that usually gets angry when Superman sends someone into the Phantom Zone is the ruler of the Phantom Zone, who is known as the First Entity. Sometimes, he does not like it when people are sent to the Phantom Zone, but Superman has always been able to reason with him, telling him that he is only doing what he must do to protect the universe from the likes of Brainiac, Darkseid, and others. But still, the First Entity doesn't like it all that much. The way that Superman uses the Phantom Zone projector ability is by gathering his heat vision and compressing it until it forms into a sphere. Then he lets out a mighty roar, releases the sphere, and the person or persons inside of it gets banished into the Phantom Zone, depending on how strong they are. Sometimes it takes more than one hit to get them completely into the Phantom Zone. For example, it took a few hits to get Doomsday inside of it, and the same could probably be said for someone like Godzilla. Speaking of Godzilla, this actually happened in Justice League vs. Godzilla. Now, in this story, Godzilla was causing a lot of destruction, and even though the Justice League tried everything they could to stop him, nothing seemed to work. They tried to reason with him, they tried to attack him, and they even tried to trick him, but Godzilla just kept on coming. Finally, Superman had enough and decided to use the Phantom Zone projector ability on Godzilla. He hit Godzilla with a single blast, and then another one, and then another one, until finally Godzilla got knocked into the Phantom Zone. Now, this is where things get kind of weird. You see, after Superman sent Godzilla into the Phantom Zone, he actually thought that it was over. He thought that he had defeated Godzilla. But shortly after, Brainiac arrived on the scene and told Superman that he was wrong, that Godzilla was not defeated yet. See, Brainiac had studied Godzilla and knew that it took more than just knocking him out to defeat him. Instead, Brainiac explained that Godzilla had to be completely removed from this plane of existence, that he needed to be erased from reality itself, and the only way to do that was to send him into the heart of the Phantom Zone, which was an area that Superman had never gone before. So, Superman and Brainiac came up with a plan. Brainiac would create a device that would allow Superman to fly to the heart of the Phantom Zone, and when the time was right, he would use that device to completely remove Godzilla from reality. Now, this plan puts Superman in a lot of danger, because as we mentioned before, the heart of the Phantom Zone was an area that Superman had never gone before, and he didn't know what to expect. Also, he was have to go into the heart of the Phantom Zone, while Godzilla was still inside of it, because otherwise the device would unwork. As you can imagine, this was a very dangerous mission, but Superman was up for the task. He knew that the fate of the universe rested on his shoulders, and he was about to let that burden get to him. With the help of Brainiac's device, Superman was able to fly to the heart of the Phantom Zone in that when he encountered Godzilla. Now, Godzilla was not happy to see Superman again, and he attacked him on sight. But Superman was prepared for this, and he was able to hold his own against Godzilla. However, it quickly became apparent that fighting Godzilla was not an option. Superman had to find a way to defeat him without actually fighting him, because if he got into a prolonged battle with Godzilla, who knows what could happen. Thinking quickly, Superman remembered that Godzilla was a radioactive creature, and that radiation could be manipulated by certain devices. So Superman used his heat vision to create a device that would siphon the radiation off of Godzilla, and then he used his super speed to accelerate the process. This caused Godzilla's body to become inert, and eventually he stopped moving altogether. Finally, Superman was able to get rid of Godzilla once and for all. Well, at least that was the plan. See, as Superman was about to leave the Phantom Zone with Godzilla's body in tow, he was confronted by the First Entity again. The First Entity was very angry at Superman, because he had killed one of the Phantom Zone's native creatures and he wanted revenge. However, Superman was able to talk him down and convince him that he had no choice but to kill Godzilla. After that, Superman was able to leave the Phantom Zone with Godzilla's body, and everything seemed to be okay. However, little did they know that this was just the beginning of the end for Superman. Now, as I'm sure you all know, Superman has faced many powerful enemies in his time, but none have ever been quite like Godzilla. Godzilla was a force of nature that seemed unstoppable, and even though Superman was able to defeat him, it came at a great cost. Not only did Superman put himself in great danger, but he also angered the ruler of the Phantom Zone. This would definitely be something that would come back to haunt him in the future. So what do you guys think? Do you think that Superman's actions were justified? And do you think that he will have to face the consequences of them? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Now, as for why I chose this topic, well, I've been wanting to do it for a while now. Ever since I first saw the cover of Justice League V's Godzilla, I was intrigued by the idea of Superman using the Phantom Zone on Godzilla. And after reading the comic, I was even more fascinated by it. The way that it played out in the story was very unexpected, and it really made me think about how powerful the Phantom Zone actually is. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to check out my other videos on the Superman vs Godzilla debate. And if you want to stay up to date on all things Superman and Godzilla, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of my videos. With that said, I want to thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. I would really appreciate it. I'm always posting new videos and you don't want to miss any of them. Once again, I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks. Bye.